Hi, welcome back to another video on this channel. I know it has been a while since I've posted something. Being a tertiary student, you are very busy, you don't really have much time for yourself. The only time we get is literally to sleep or to make something to eat, and I'm here. I want to first start off by thanking God for giving me the opportunity to be alive in this moment. Many would have wanted to be here today, and so the mere fact that you're alive means that God is not done with you yet. You have a purpose to fulfill that He has placed within your spirit, within your soul, within your heart, and you are special. So let's get that out of the way. I've been thinking about doing this video on Cape Caribbean studies and the steps that one can take to do well in this subject area, right? So, for one thing, it is a subject that focuses on not only the Caribbean, it's like a merger of history, geography, social studies, and those are the core subjects of Caribbean um, studies, right? I'm saying Caribbean civilization, my mouth was going to sleep just now because we do a course like that at university. Now, for Caribbean studies, what I did history and I did social studies. So it was really easy for me to, as an easy transition because I have knowledge of history and I had a passionate teacher, and that really helped a lot because the introduction to Caribbean civil I mean Caribbean studies is about history. You learn about the geography. I remember learning about the political. So the Caribbean, and to define the Caribbean region is not only defined by Caribbean islands being washed by the Caribbean Sea, because if we talked about that, then the Central Caribbean would be, Central America would be a part of the Caribbean, which is not entirely true. So we don't only look at it in the geography in the sense that of a Caribbean basin, but we look at the Caribbean in terms of the history, a shared history. We look at the type of political system, we look at language, and most importantly, one of the things that unite us as a Caribbean people, regardless of our language, is our history, our shared history of slavery, right? So the first tip is don't try and know every single thing in the syllabus or in the book. It is impossible for one to know every single information in the Caribbean Studies book, right? So I got straight A profile and a grade one. I know I'm going to share with you the tips that worked for me, and I believe that you can apply them. Having friends who did Caribbean studies, they said they didn't like it. It's too boring, it's too long, it's a lot of reading. So, what I recommend you doing is be current, watch the news, keep abreast. If you don't get to watch the news, there's Instagram, right? So you have your news, your local news of an Instagram page, and you follow that. And you read in depth with that story. Be current. Watch programs, for instance, is coming up to a new year when it's Black History Month, or for Jamaican students, there are programs on television in Jamaica that airs, such as Hilangoli Ride, they do a documentary on certain heroes, and when you learn about their life, you're able to write your life, or what you speak out of your mouth to be what you consume. So if you what you watch, what you listen to. But sometimes you might watch a documentary and you're just listening. You don't have to necessarily be a attuned with everything. But the mere fact that you turn it on and you're there, you don't have your phone open, and you just be there and you just watch it, right? So TVJ normally has a good documentaries around Black History one time, and you watch that. I remember listening to an interview done with Mar, what's his name? Bruce Golden's sons, Bruce Golden's son, and he was talking about the Coral Garden incident and how the trajectory of slavery has passed down and Rastafarianism and all these things. And when I was writing my Caribbean studies SBA, I didn't even pay attention to every word that what he was saying, but he sounded intelligent and I listened. And then I was able to write what he said for my introduction or the opening, what I wanted to achieve. And so everything that you listen to, it does impact you. So you have to make the sacrifice to cut out certain things. For instance, if you used to be on Instagram for 5 and more hours per day, you cut it down and you do things that are relevant to what you're doing to yield certain results. What I did was, if Miss gives us a topic, say for instance we are doing neo-colonialism, or she'd say Pan-Africanism, and we'd have a discussion around it. So she didn't really do a lot of, this is the book, and she didn't write an epistle on the board, right? This is the topic, we have a discussion. She'd foster discussion, what we think about the topic. Tell me what you think, what do you gather from the topic? And we'd have a discussion around it. And many times I left class feeling, say it was 2 hours long, and I left class feeling like, where did the time go? Because there's so much to discuss and your perspective. And in order for you to share or have a solid conversation, you have to be reading. Even if you don't like it, just start with 5 minutes, set a timer and say, okay, I'm going to dedicate just 5 minutes to reading on neocolonialism. And then after the 5 minutes, you write what you remember, or talk to somebody about what you just read. And then if you feel like you have not get enough from the 5 minute reading, then you set another timer and you do 10 minutes this time, or you watch a video. Videos are really good, and the video will tell you what you need to know. A short video, you go on YouTube, you find a short video that would summarize the content, and you take notes, or you don't have to take notes, but you listen to it and you try to understand what it is saying, right? It's not about knowing everything, it's about understanding. And what I did from the December, I got past papers for the writing piece. I got past papers and I practiced. So you have to get past papers. And when you read, so for instance, I use a past paper to study. So I did not necessarily listen to what the teacher was giving me. I'd use a past paper. So for instance, I would look on, because there's 4 essays that you write. So I would look on, for instance, section A is about like the geography, the history, and I look how they would put the question, or they would frame the question, and I'd attempt it after reading something on that. And then the other section, because another section of the SBA section, be the other essay. I would read it. What I don't know about the topic, I would go and study that, and then after studying, I would write the essay on it. Then I would go to the teacher and say, Miss, can you critique this essay? And then she'd give me constructive feedback. I'd go back, do the corrections, bring it back to her again until we had a workable essay. And that sounded intellectual, that had everything the examiners were looking for. And it's the same attitude I took to the SBA. I ensured that every single time I did something, I went to her, the teacher, and I said, Miss, can you look at what I have? And I asked her to help me, because if I didn't understand, I ensured to ask her, this is what I have. And then I remember she telling me that what my topic was, it was too advanced for a secondary student to do, and it's something that a tertiary student should be doing. I wanted to do the research on why only white people are wealthy in the Caribbean, and the relationship that had with slavery. And and so I didn't get to do that. But what I want to say is the teachers will guide you in the right direction. Had I pursued that, I'd have wasted my time when that was a research that was above my level. So you communicate with your teachers. So the second tip, practice past paper question. Use past paper paper to study and start no. Start January. Start when even when nobody else is doing it. You want that one. Even when nobody else is doing it, you do it. You take the time and you practice past papers and you go and you read what you don't know, you read it, you find a book in the library, you find an article online, you find it a video on it on YouTube, you write what you understand, you write what you gather from that video. And you ensure you communicate with the teachers. Third tip, teachers are crucial. They know what examiners want, they know what the SBA, they have experience. So when you speak to them, don't be afraid. They're here to help you. Right? And then the fourth advice is that you would take time to not only read surface level knowledge, read beyond, read more. So when you write, it's natural, right? So as I said, if we go on neocolonialism, you first you go in the book to read and more about it, and then you would find another book or a literature or somebody who has written something about it. So um you find I'm trying to remember the name. So you put in PDF, what the topic and PDF in Google, and you'd find something on that. You read it. You don't have to read the entire PDF. You read the abstract, and you really understand. You show the teacher, have discussions with her, and write what you think. You are brilliant. You have a mind. You can think. Don't only rely on ChatGPT. A human being made ChatGPT, and you are human. You're intelligent, and those are my few words. I wish you the best on your exams. If there's any questions you have pertaining to Caribbean studies, feel free to leave a comment. Please share this with someone who you think might benefit, and God bless.